Hello, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I'm here to revisit and review King Kong. King Kong, not the original movie that came out in like 1933, way before my time, and not even the first remake of this film that came out sometime in the 70s. No, this is another remake of King Kong. This one came out in 2005. It was directed by Peter Jackson, and the plot is, well, I'm sure most people know the story of King Kong. This film follows that through and through. You see Naomi Watts as Anne, who is an aspiring actress. She just lost her job at this theater and she's a little desperate. Jack Black discovers her. He plays Carl Dunnan, who is kind of sensed on making this movie, and it involves taking the crew and actors and actresses to go on this ship and go to a place called Skull Island. And a lot of them don't realize what is going on this island, what actually exists on this island, but they all find out the hard way. They meet King Kong, and of course, eventually Kong goes to the city. Now, what I think of King Kong, the remake, is... overall, I like the movie. I do. Overall, I enjoy the movie, but I want to say I enjoy the movie more in parts. Because this film is 3 hours and 8 minutes long. Now look, I don't want to be that guy who complains about a film being too long, or to say that movies should only be an hour and a half or 2 hours or even 2.5 hours, because obviously, depending on the stories, depending on the film, some movies need to be that long, and I get it, it makes sense, but I honestly don't think this movie needs to be as long as it does. Now, I had seen this once before a while ago, so I wanted to rewatch it. And in rewatching it, I see maybe the first half hour to 45 minutes where there is a lot of setup. There is a lot of background to the characters like Naomi Watts, a lot of her looking for another job and not knowing what to do. She hasn't been getting paid in weeks, and she's becoming desperate, almost about to steal food and this and that. And there's a part of you that thinks, do you really need all of the setup? You even see Jack Black, who's trying to sell his movies, but no other producers are interested in it. And he's sensed on making this film some type of wild jungle movie and to capture these creatures and monsters that's on this island. He knows it would put his name on the map. And you see all of that backstory. And you're wondering, at the end of the day, is all of this necessary? And at first, I was thinking no. I was thinking that you could have just started this movie right from when they're going onto the boat and go from there. But I still, since it is like the third time that they're doing this story, you do almost appreciate that they wanted to put some backstory into it, or put some more characterization into these characters that we already knew from before. So there is also that. Now, once you're on the ship, we meet characters like Adrian Brody, who plays Jack Driscoll, who is a writer. He's basically writing the movie that Jack Black is trying to direct. And they have this romance with Adrian Brody and Naomi Watts that is fine, but I don't really buy it. Not 100%. I don't really know how much chemistry they seem to have. If at the end of the day, if at the end of this movie, do I really buy that they're going to end up together? Probably not. Jack Black is probably my favorite character in the movie. One, because I like Jack Black in general, but two, he's playing this character, this movie guy, and he has a lot more personality than most other people in the film. He has his Jack Black isms, but he also is playing it fairly straight at times, so I liked what he did. He was putting some much needed energy into some of this. Jamie Bell, very young Jamie Bell as Jimmy. Surprised to see him here. Colin Hanks and Kyle Chandler, who was a little cartoony, was a little goofy of a character, but he was fine. Also, Andy Serkis plays a minor character, but not just that. Andy Serkis plays King Kong. And King Kong obviously is the best part of this film, is the best thing about the movie that you do attach yourself to. The motion capture that Serkis does, he's known for this. He's so great at doing motion capture that he's the go-to guy for it. So it makes sense why he's doing this here. And I think the CGI for King Kong still holds up. It still looks really good. It does. The scenes where he's interacting with Naomi Watts and has her in his hand and running around and they're interacting together and she's trying to calm him down or trying to keep him entertained. I like those scenes. They're nice, quiet scenes when they first get to the island and that weird tribe is there, and I don't know if they're cannibals or what. Those tribe people are creepy. They're creepy as hell, but on this island, Kong's not the only monster there. There are plenty of other monsters. Some of those monsters include dinosaurs. And I knew that there were dinosaurs on this island. I remember dinosaurs being on this island, even from the original. But my girlfriend, who I was watching this with, she had no idea. And she thought it was kind of stupid to have, especially the scene with the brontosauruses, brachiosauruses, whatever they're called. That chase scene where Jack Black's trying to record them, and then they start to run, and the whole crew is running away from them. I even have to admit, it's really silly. Like, as much as I thought as that beginning setup stuff was unnecessary, this chase scene especially was more unnecessary. I was sitting here thinking how silly that was, how goofy that was, how much, as good as the CGI is at other times in the movie, the CGI there, I'm sorry, it's terrible. It does not hold up. It does not look good to me. It looks very goofy and over the top. I'm not exactly sure if that's what Peter Jackson's going for. And then there's other scenes where there's like giant insects and they get attacked by them. I thought that scene was unnecessary. The scene where Andy Serkis gets swallowed up by those big worm creatures, I thought that was stupid and a lame way for him to die. So a lot of the middle portion of this movie I thought could have been trimmed out. Trim the fat. One of my favorite parts of this movie, though, does involve King Kong fighting the T-Rexes. I love seeing him just go at it, and the fact that there are 3 T-Rexes this time that he goes up against, and just, it's an all-out brawl. It's great effects. It's great action. It's fun. And you really feel those 3 hours, though, once they capture Kong, bring him to the city, and he's on display for them. Now, it's still a good story. It's still something that you become interested by. But if it wasn't as long as it was, I probably wouldn't be so tired by the end of that. And because you do know the story so well, and you know where it's going to go, you know that he's going to wind up on the Eiffel Tower, and you know that the helicopters are going to come and shoot at him. And as cool as that is in this movie, it's a great sequence, great action for that end part, and you know where it's going to head. It's still something to where you're just sitting there now at this point, and I'm not saying I was bored throughout it. I'm just saying that I wish I could edit this myself, make my own special, the ReviewKingMB edition of King Kong, and have it maybe be 2.5 hours. It would be perfect, I think, at that length. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of King Kong, the 2005 remake? Do you like it or do you love it? Do you think the original one is better? Is the 70s one better? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!